Welcome everybody, this is Instructor Lee, and today I'm going to be doing a short video on ALWD citations and the BlueBook citation. The ALWD citation actually stands for Association of Legal Writing Directors, and the BlueBook is just a uniform system of citation. They're both the exact same thing, or pretty much the exact same thing. It's a uniform way of citing legal resources. All your legal research and writing classes that you'll take, as well as if you choose to go on to any kind of law classes, a legal studies program, you'll have to do it in BlueBook citation or legal formatting. You'll often hear me interchange ALWD with BlueBook. That's not intentional, I'm just used to saying BlueBook. They are a little bit different, but they're pretty much the exact same thing because it's all standard, uniform citations. Now, this isn't going to be a video on how to actually cite something using ALWD or BlueBook. This is a short video on the available resources that you have as a student that can help you cite something in either BlueBook or ALWD. Now, let's first talk about BlueBook, and I'll go over the BlueBook just a little tiny bit. Now, the BlueBook here, I pulled it up on Amazon. I just typed in the BlueBook. And it gives you this. It gives you a series of books. They all look the same. This is the one here on the bottom is the 18th edition. It's 12 bucks, a little over $12. And I mean it's good. It's still good. It's not updated like the 19th edition, but it's only $12, and it gives you pretty much the same citation. Now, if I obviously I'll always recommend the updated editions, which is the 19th edition. It's $25 here, or $22 up here to buy it used or new. Now, if you're just starting, or if you have a long way ahead of you in school, I highly recommend this book. It goes it goes into a lot of detail on how to write any type of legal citation you could possibly think of. The hard part about ALWD and BlueBook citations are that each jurisdiction has its own specific way on how to cite a specific article or statute. Everything's just a little bit different. It's kind of annoying, but this book explains how to do it correctly. Now, it's just like APA. As far as once you get it, you really understand and you get it. It's not super hard. And once you understand APA, it makes ALWD or BlueBook citations a lot easier because it really does follow the same format. And I'll show you a little later on what I mean about that now, or by that. Now, this is here on Amazon. Now, Shag.com has it for $28.49. You could get a Shag coupon, which can drop that even lower, and then here, free shipping and $10 off physical textbook. Oh, that's over $85. But you can get a coupon that will lower this down, or you might be able to get a coupon. So it's not bad. Under $30, you can get this very valuable resource. And once again, I highly recommend the BlueBook because it does go into a lot of detail. Now, I will be having additional classes or additional screencasts regarding the BlueBook and how to use it because it is kind of complicated, but it's such a valuable resource that I really do highly recommend it. Now, if you don't have the BlueBook, and if you are in Brookline, there are legal research and writing or paralegal studies. I just opened up my little module here, and this is my torts and litigation class. I don't really care about any of this stuff. But what Brookline has done that has made it really easy for their students is, which is really good, is they put in a citation right here, or a hyperlink right here. So there's two different resources available to Brookline students, and it is here. So if you click here, see how it's blue? It's a hyperlink. This is a cheat sheet. This is an ALWD. I call it a cheat sheet. It's examples of citations on how to cite something properly. Now, this is just examples of it. So, for example, if you have a case that looks like Scott v. Harris, here's an example on how to cite it. You have the information available on your case. So if you're trying to cite something like Miranda v. Arizona, you can look at this. It's a Supreme Court case, or it could be a Court of Appeals case, and just substitute their information with yours. So just swap out the information. That's the easiest way of doing it. Now, obviously, we're going to go into much more detail a little later on how to actually cite things, because as you can tell, everything's a little bit different depending on what you're citing. Now, if it's a Supreme Court case, here you go. Here's an example of it. These just give you a bunch of examples. Court of Appeals, tons of different ways of citing a Court of Appeals, or not tons of different ways. It's just they give you tons of different examples. Sorry. Ninth Circuit, for example, this is how you're going to cite a Ninth Circuit case. So look for a citation that's similar to the one that you're trying to cite, and go off of that format. District courts, federal courts, bankruptcy courts. This is really good. It gives you a lot of good information. Constitution, how to cite the Constitution correctly. Okay, here's one that kind of trips a lot of students up. But these are book citations. What do I mean I have to do book citations? Yeah, everything that you use, whether it be books or online or digital media, it has to be cited, right? Just like in APA. But ALWD or BlueBook has their own ways of doing it. Now, if you look at how they do it, it looks very much like APA, right? The only real difference is here in the author and how they do it. They actually spell out the name completely, as you can see here, whereas APA, they abbreviate some stuff. And then also pay attention that all the titles of books, all the titles of books and sorry about that, are going to be in italics. Now, as you can see from my mistake that I just did, if you click on it, it actually gives you more detailed instructions on how to cite that particular item. So book citations goes into detail. It just gives you a lot of different examples. Yeah, so you could go through that. I highly recommend it. It's a really good resource to use. Now, what I like using better than that little cheat sheet is actually the Cornell Law website. This makes it a lot easier. Now, if you don't want to go read through all this stuff because you're like, oh, what is all this? There's a lot of stuff to read. Don't worry. I'll explain where the most important things are here. Now, if on the left-hand side you have the introduction, which tells you more about the legal research and writing. Here's the purposes of legal research and writing, levels of mastery, blah blah blah. This is what's important. It is right here. How to cite. How to cite legal resources. Now, if you click here, this first one is electronic sources. These are going to be all your internet resources that you use. Now, everybody uses internet because you're on an online class, right? It makes it a lot easier. So this is the proper way of citing something, citing an internet source. Don't just include the URL, which is right here, and call it good. No, you still need to cite it just like you would in APA. And once again, if you look at it, you're like, man, this is very similar to APA. Yeah, it is. And so that's why I really stress Brookline offers a great APA webinar. I recommend taking the APA webinar even though you're citing stuff in ALWD, because it really will help, because it's all pretty much the same thing. It's just legal resource or legal research and writing citations are a little more detailed. So as you can see, you could look over here. Let's look up more. Here's books again. So this gives you more examples of books on how to properly cite books. How to use underlining and italics. So it's just a really good how-to guide. Now, once again, this is from the Cornell Law website. I can't stress this enough that if you go back to the BlueBook is very it's a lot better. It's more detailed, and it really does give you a great explanation of legal citations on how to cite every single thing correctly. Whereas these two, they give you good examples, which are great. And then the Cornell Law tells you how to cite them. How to cite. Right here, it tells you how to cite them. But this is a great free resource, whereas the BlueBook you have to pay a little bit extra. Anyways, I could talk for hours and hours. My next video, I'm going to talk about how to, and I'm going to break down the individual sites one by one on how to cite a specific thing, like a book or a website. Those will be in my next videos to come. I hope you enjoyed this one. Once again, please leave me comments and see if you need help with anything else, or if you have any suggestions for any upcoming videos that you'd like to see. Please just leave me comments. Thank you.